Dear Onision, stop talking about Eugenia Cooney. Hello Internet, my name is Rexa and I'm coming to you from the land of I'm really pissed off. Eugenia posted on the 10th of February, "Hi guys, I appreciate the concern. I'm taking a break from social media and voluntarily working on this with my doctor privately. Please respect that." Now some channels have decided to talk about it despite her request to not. But what do you think Onision did? Of course he didn't listen. This guy has no respect for people's private business. And I know what he would say to what I just said there. He would say, oh, well, what about when nobody respects my privacy or talks about my private business and my partner and my children? Not everything is about you, Onision. This is about one woman's struggle with her health and her mind. This isn't about, oh, well, they do it to me, so I can do it to her. That's not how life works. That's not how the world works. Grow up and show a little respect for somebody who's struggling with something that affects their life. Up on his Onision Speaks channel, there is currently five videos about Eugenia in a row. And surprise, surprise, they get way more views than all his other videos. Kinda speaks to why he keeps talking about it, doesn't it?
I could reverse things as I had talked about her for such a long time and tried to, I did so many things.
It's not surprising that he is sitting in his house or wherever it is he's filming this currently. His set seems to change every 5 minutes, but it's not surprising that he'll be sitting there patting himself on the back going, "Well done, Greg, well done. If it wasn't for me, this never would have happened. If it wasn't for me, she never would have taken the steps to save herself. If it wasn't for me, people wouldn't have harassed her and bullied her or sent her, supportive messages or whatever. Please give me a fucking break, okay? The only person who saved Eugenia was Eugenia, okay? Maybe, supportive messages going, look, we love you, I've been your fan for a long time, but you're really starting to scare me, I'm worried you'll die, whatever." You cannot take credit for that. That is her fans, not your fans, her fans. And please, all the crap that you've done in the past, making fun of Eugenia, saying, oh, please go send lots of messages to her because she's going to die. That shit doesn't help. You saw how much she buckled down and refused to talk about it like any other person with a possible eating disorder would. Why the fuck would you want to talk about it on social media with people you don't know, especially when they're coming from somebody like Onision? There is no way in hell I'd talk about my eating issues with your random fans, okay? She has probably been encouraged by the people in her life and her fans, her long-time fans who have seen her health just get worse and worse, but it wasn't because of you. Eugenia is the only person who could save Eugenia. So please give me a fucking break. You narcissistic asshole that has to take credit for every good thing that ever happens to anyone you've ever talked about.
So many people told us, and I say us because you guys were a big part of this. Like you were the muscle, you were the strength. I went on Twitter campaigns. And when I went on Twitter campaigns, I was reaching out to Jesse Page. I was reaching out to Social Repose, Shane Dawson, Jacqueline Glynn, everyone I knew that knew Eugenia.
The comments on the video, the first video he posted, pretty much says it all. Now, I'm not going to read every comment because obviously there's going to be like hard Onion Boy fans out there. They're like, oh my God, you saved her, Greg. Oh my God. Love hearts. And it's got 78,000 views. Most of his videos that I've seen have like 15k views or 20k views, unless it's something that everybody's talking about. And of course, because he put Eugenia in the title, it's 78,000 views, and you get comments like, nobody saved Eugenia, Eugenia saved herself. Do not take credit for this. No, Eugenia helped Eugenia. You bullied and tormented her. All the people that think he actually helped her make me sick. Of course, this video starts out with how much he's done for her, LMFAO. She chose to help herself. We did nothing. She very obviously wasn't budging when we said stuff, and she decided on her own to save herself. You did nothing. We did nothing. All her. You've done nothing but harm. You made fun of her. You didn't do anything but harm. The fake tears were a nice touch. Too fake though. Nice try. I'm honestly surprised that the like to dislike ratio isn't more contrasting, but it's still not great.
But I read through some of the comments on my last video about Eugenia, and I felt like there's some serious things that should be addressed. Most importantly, a lot of people have been talking about like this concept of egomania, narcissism, all this stuff, and it's like an obsession.
One way to try and discredit what people are saying about you instead of actually looking in the mirror and thinking about what people have said repeatedly for a very long time is to deflect and say you're obsessed. We see it all the time with asshole YouTubers going, oh my god, they're just so obsessed with me, instead of thinking, well, why? Why are people saying these things about me if it's not true? Why are so many people saying things about me if it's not true? Maybe do a little self-investigation before you dismiss what everybody's saying, dude.
And we have to diagnose them, and that way we can dehumanize them.
Diagnosing someone, like armchair diagnosis, doesn't necessarily mean you're dehumanizing somebody. It's basically going, this person acts like this, I think they might be this, maybe they should get help. Okay, this isn't a fact of, oh, well, you're a psychopath, therefore I think you should die, or you're not human. That's not how it works. Assholes do that. Majority of the public do not do that. In fact, majority of the public are scared of big terms like narcissist and psycho and sociopath, you name, antisocial behavior. These are scary terms, and the symptoms overlap, and the public generally doesn't like diagnosing people because they don't know enough about it. It's the people who know a bit about these disorders that are going, this person's acting like they have this person's acting like they've got that, because they're trying to understand why you behave the way you do, why you say the things you do, and just, dude, like, seriously, you need to look in the mirror sometimes and just take this shit seriously. Not everybody's out to hate you. People give you criticisms. You don't just say, oh, it's just hate, oh, they're obsessed, oh, they're just trying to dehumanize me. Actually fucking do something about it, dude. Address it. Don't dismiss it.
Finding out that somebody is finally getting help after you talked about them for years. Now, with all that being said, I have, in fact, probably made more videos about Eugenia Cooney than anyone on YouTube. This is pretty much a fact.
Making that many videos on Eugenia Cooney is not something to be proud of, dude. It's the content that matters, and your content on her is just, it's fucking sickening. As somebody who has experience with eating disorders, it is disgusting. Makes me physically ill. It made me physically ill at the time, and I feel no different about them. And your self-righteous acts just makes you dislike you even more. I can't believe that after my last video about the Jacqueline Glenn thing, I actually thought you might be evolving as a person and growing and learning about yourself and improving your behavior. But this just wipes that all away, because this is exactly old Onision tactics and behavior and manipulation, and that shit just doesn't fly with me.
And if you search on Twitter, in quotes, Onision helped me, you'll find lots of people that say that I have helped them. Lots and lots. I'm talking hundreds, maybe thousands.
And here we go with the I'm so great, I help this person and I help that person, and all my fans think I give great advice and I help them with cutting and blah 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 blah. Okay, well, I've covered this before in the Onision is Obsessed video, that you have an obsession with people being overweight and people being underweight, and you are cruel about it. Okay, let's not beat around the bush here. You've been an absolute dick to people. You've been a dick to your fans who have been underweight, and not so necessarily in an anorexic way or maybe a bulimic way, but you've been a dick to these people who you would classify as underweight.
If you just search the internet in general with specific things that people would say, to thank someone for helping them, you will find lots of people have said that I've helped them with my Eugenia Cooney videos. I've just helped them in general.
Shaming people and abusing people who cut and having them stop cutting because of this does not mean that it works for eating disorders. You obviously don't understand the first thing about what causes eating disorder, what is the behavior, what psychologically happens that causes them to eat, eat and eat until they feel like their stomach's going to burst, or not eat until, their organs start shutting down. You do zero research on this severe psychological issue, then spread hate about it and bully people and make fun of them and then go, yeah, but I help people. I think this is the thing that makes me the most angry about your content, and what actually pushed me away as somebody who used to view your content and thought you were funny, because it fucking pissed me off that someone who had no idea what they were talking about thought that they were helping people. I know you might think you're helping people, but you really are not. Who's going to turn around and go, oh, Onision, your rant about people being fat actually made me feel worse about myself. I felt disgusting and I felt like I just wanted to medicate myself with food, so I did that, and then I felt worse and I went through the guilt process of then starving myself, and then the cycle repeated because your next video pretty much said the same thing. Just educate yourself, please, for the love of sanity.
I didn't make any money off my last video that I made. It got like 28,000 views, but it was demonetized right away. So just want to let you know this is something that I don't care if I make money off or not. I'm posting these videos because Eugenia Cooney is important to me, and I think that everyone should stay informed about her and be supportive through this whole thing.
Oh my god, I'm such a good person because I made a video about Eugenia Cooney and I got lots of views, but it's not monetized, so that makes me a really good person.
A lot of people say Eugenia saved herself, but then they'll go and say Eugenia was pushed into eating disorder by so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. A lot of people may have triggered her at one point. Who triggered her? Maybe you, maybe another YouTuber.
Oh my god. Pushed into eating disorder. Another example of not understanding what... Oh my god, I get so angry about this topic because there's so much misinformation and Greg's just spreading it around out there. Okay, with eating disorders, you don't have a particular person or a group of people that cause an eating disorder. Often you have a predisposition for it through genetics, and then there's environmental factors like trauma, which can cause eating disorder. It can be stresses that trigger it in you, because you have that predisposition for it. It's part genetic and it's part environmental, as I've said before. And what happens with influences of people is that people can trigger the urge. They don't trigger the eating disorder. It's not something that just pops up when you're 35 and goes,
oh, hi, I'm here. I know you just went through a really bad breakup and this guy was an asshole to you, so here I am. You can stop eating now.
That's not how it works. That's just not how it works.
I don't believe that any online tweet or a video or anything would make you be an obsessive thinker or a perfectionist or have a sensitivity towards reward and punishment, harm avoidance, etc.
This reads to me like he looked up the cause of eating disorders after saying people push you into eating disorders. So what I said still stands, but maybe you should have cut out the bit about people push. If you've gone through and educated yourself, which I doubt, you've probably just Googled it so you have something to read about and go, ooh, I'm an expert. But please, just when you're talking about these things that are very important and they have a big impact on a lot of people's lives, don't just spout the first thing that comes to your fucking head. do your research, because you don't know what kind of damage you're doing with false information.
So biology can be another trigger for an eating disorder.
He's not stating where he is getting this information from, which is very important when you are looking at mental health and physical health issues online, because there is a lot of bullshit out there. You need to state where this information is from. Is it from the American Psychological Association? Is it from a natural health website? Is it from a place that's stating if you take a herb 5 times every day that you'll be cured of your disorder? Because it's important. What your sources are is very important, because you don't want to pull info that's wrong and then distribute it to like 90,000 people like you are right now. I'm not saying this info might necessarily be wrong, but you need to cite your sources. If you're going to try and educate people, cite your sources. Where I get my information from and these sorts of things are the Butterfly Foundation, which is a foundation for eating disorders. You also have Beyond Blue, which is an Australian mental health organisation. And then you've got places like the American Psychological Association. I have a copy of the Diagnostic Manual. Number 5, I don't have number 6. I don't even know if it's out yet. But it's really important to cite your sources, dude. I mean, I know I've said that like 100 times already, but it is extremely important when we are talking about mental health and disorders. It should also be noted that just having these symptoms doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have this problem. That's not how it works. These symptoms on their own can be symptoms of a lot of things. Obsessive thinking, you can have that with other mental disorders like anxiety. People with anxiety will have obsessive thinking about things they've done, about things they need to do, about, did I lock the door? Did I lock the door? I don't know if I locked the door. And they can think about that repeatedly for an hour, then have to leave work to go home to check that they've actually fucking locked the door. And guess what? They locked the door. But the anxiety pushes that obsessive thinking. Perfectionism, anybody can be a perfectionist. People can be obsessively perfectionist. And sometimes people with OCD are perfectionists. You can be sensitivity towards reward and punishment, harm avoidance. I mean, that covers a lot of people, and especially people there are people who, when it comes to reward and punishment, I mean, everybody wants to avoid punishment, but there's people who will actively avoid it at any cost, whether it be pain, something getting taken away from them. And then there's people who have the brain chemistry that makes them susceptible to addictions, like gambling and drugs and that sort of thing. And that doesn't mean that you might develop an eating disorder. It's just, you get what I'm saying. Individual symptoms on their own don't... Okay, this is the problem I have with this sort of information online so openly, is that people like to self-diagnose a lot. I mean, I do it all the time, and if I was self-diagnosing myself, I would have been confused as to why I didn't die yet. But this is why we have doctors, and this is why we have professionals, because they have the education and training to go, well, it can't be this, it can't be this, it can't be this, you've got this and this and this. But how long has this been going on for? You know, how long does it last for? How severe is it? And that sort of thing. And then they go, okay, well, I'm going to refer you to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or you need to start getting treatment for this or that. And it's okay to look at this as a loose guideline. But for somebody who criticizes the people who watched his video of diagnosing people, this is exactly what he is doing to Eugenia. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who's noticed this. I want to know from Onision if he agrees and stands by with what he said in every other Eugenia Cooney and weight-related video he has ever made, because if so, he's a fucking hypocrite. And that is as much as I can take of his bullshit Eugenia Cooney videos, okay? He's made 5 so far. I was sure there was 6, but maybe I miscounted. And that's enough. Stop it. She specifically asked for privacy. Do you know what privacy means, Greg? It means keeping your fucking nose out of her business and let her deal with this privately without people judging and making comment and thinking they're experts. Kind of like how you're being, Okay, just leave her alone. Leave her to do what she needs to do and move on with your life. Okay? If you want to congratulate yourself, then fine, congratulate yourself. But leave her the fuck alone. Apologies for this video being so ranty. I hope the audio quality is okay, but this is a topic that hits close to home and makes me very angry when people try to, get views out of it or talk like they're an expert. Okay, the only people who have the right to actually talk about this, in my opinion, okay, are people who have been through it, have helped someone get through it, like somebody like a partner or a sister or whatever, or a professional, because they know what they're talking about. They've done the extensive research, they know what the treatment process is, and it's not some dude on the internet. And I'm not going to go into my experience with eating disorders, but even I don't feel like I'm qualified to tell people what to do when it comes to their bodies. You will never see me shame someone for being too skinny, too fat, too short, too tall, boobs too small, boobs too big, plastic surgery, you name it, because that's just fucked up. Why would I have the right to tell someone what to do? Anyway, okay. Officially ending the video. Thank you so much for watching. Congrats if you got this far. Make sure you hit the like button if you agree, and let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about Onision making 5 videos in a row on Eugenia Cooney? And I shall see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!